The World Cup's billion-dollar secret. Right now, billions of people are watching the FIFA World Cup. The stadiums are full. The atmosphere is electric. The world is celebrating football. And somewhere, behind the scenes, billions of dollars are changing hands. Most people assume all that money ends up in the host country. After all, millions of fans travel there. Hotels are full, restaurants are packed, flights are sold out. The entire world is watching. Hosting the World Cup should be one of the best financial deals a country could ever make, right? Except it usually isn't. In fact, since 1966, 12 of the last 14 FIFA World Cups have resulted in financial losses for the countries that hosted them. Not because football isn't profitable, it is. Not because fans don't spend money, they do. But because almost nobody understands where the money actually goes. And once you see it, you'll never watch the World Cup the same way again. Let's start with the biggest misconception. Most people imagine the World Cup works like this. A country hosts the tournament. Millions of tourists arrive. Businesses make money. The government collects more taxes. Everyone wins. It sounds obvious. It even sounds inevitable. But that's only half the story. Because before the first ticket is sold, before the first goal is scored, before the opening ceremony even begins, the host country has already spent billions of dollars. New stadiums, expanded airports, roads, metro systems, security, telecommunications, training facilities, urban redevelopment, and unlike a private company, governments aren't spending their own money. They're spending public money. Money that could have gone towards schools, hospitals, housing, or infrastructure projects people would use for decades. Instead, it's committed to an event that lasts just over a month. The hope is simple. Spend billions today, earn even more tomorrow. Sometimes, that works, but more often, it doesn't. And history tells the same story, again and again. Take Brazil. In 2014, Brazil spent around $15 billion preparing for the World Cup. 15 billion. Imagine stacking $1 billion $1 bills. That stack would rise more than 67 miles into the sky. Now multiply it by 15. That was the scale of Brazil's investment. The promise was enormous: economic growth, tourism, jobs, international attention. Instead, many stadiums struggled to find long-term use once the tournament ended. Some became so expensive to maintain, they earned a nickname: white elephants. Huge, impressive, and incredibly costly. Then came Russia, another World Cup, another massive investment, around $11 billion. Then, Qatar, a country smaller than many major cities. Yet it spent an estimated $220 billion, not million, billion, more than the entire annual economic output of many countries, for a tournament lasting just 5 weeks. The estimated return? Roughly $3 billion. Think about that. Imagine spending $1,000 to receive $5 back. No business would celebrate that. No investor would call it a success. So why does this keep happening? Because here's the part almost nobody sees. If the host countries aren't making billions, then who is? That's where the real story begins. Let's answer that with a simple thought experiment. Imagine you own a restaurant. One morning, someone walks in and says, "I want to host the biggest party the city has ever seen." Sounds exciting. Then they hand you a contract. They'll invite every guest. They'll sell every ticket. They'll keep every dollar from those tickets. They'll sign all the sponsors. They'll sell all the merchandise. They'll own the television rights, worth billions of dollars. You provide the building. You hire the staff. You pay for security. You clean everything afterwards. And you pay the bill. Would you sign that deal? Probably not. Yet that's surprisingly close to how hosting the FIFA World Cup works. Because while the host country builds the stage, FIFA owns the show. Broadcasting rights, billions of dollars. Global sponsorships, billions more. Merchandise, licensing, commercial partnerships, more billions. That's where most of the money goes. Not to the cities, not to the taxpayers, to FIFA. Meanwhile, the hosts are left paying for almost everything else. Police, security, road closures, public transport, emergency services, traffic control, crowd management. Even the fan festivals that FIFA requires host cities to organize can cost up to $1 million every single day. And just when you think the deal couldn't become any more one-sided, it does. Some cities tried to sign local sponsors to recover part of their costs. FIFA blocked many of those agreements because they conflicted with FIFA's own commercial partners. Think about that. The city pays for the event, but someone else controls who gets to advertise there. Stadiums with existing naming rights deals, worth millions, often have to cover those names during the tournament. Your stadium, your taxpayers, your maintenance costs. FIFA's rules, and the restrictions don't stop there. FIFA has also requested tax exemptions from host governments for certain World Cup-related revenues. In Kansas City alone, officials estimated that those exemptions would reduce local tax revenue by around $11 million, money that otherwise could have supported public services. So by now, the picture starts to become clear. The host country isn't buying a tournament, it's buying the right to host FIFA's tournament, and that's a very expensive difference. Eventually, some cities started asking a simple question: is this deal actually worth it? Eventually, some cities did ask that question, and some of them walked away. Chicago, one of the largest cities in the United States, a city perfectly capable of hosting World Cup matches, looked at the numbers, looked at the costs, and decided the deal wasn't worth it. Officials concluded that the tournament could leave the city spending more than it was likely to recover, so they simply said no. But many other cities and many other countries still said yes. Why? Because hosting the World Cup was never purely a financial decision. It's a branding decision, a political decision, a diplomatic decision. For 1 month, billions of people watch the same event. The host country's skyline, its culture, its landmarks, its airports, its transport systems are broadcast into homes all over the world. That kind of global exposure is almost impossible to buy through traditional advertising. For some countries, that's worth billions. Take Qatar. Did it really expect to recover $220 billion through ticket sales and tourism? Probably not. It was buying something different: visibility, prestige, influence, a chance to reshape how the world saw the country. And sometimes, hosting does leave behind valuable infrastructure: new airports, new metro systems, better roads, urban redevelopment. Those benefits are real. The problem is, they're also incredibly difficult to measure, which brings us to something governments rarely advertise. Before almost every World Cup, economic reports predict enormous gains: more tourism, more jobs, more investment, more growth. But many of those reports are commissioned to support hosting bids. When independent economists examine what happened after the crowds leave, they often reach a very different conclusion. Study after study has found that mega sporting events regularly exceed their original budgets by an average of 172%, and in more than 4 out of every 5 World Cups and Olympic Games ever studied, the costs exceeded the revenue they generated. The pattern rarely changes: big promises before the tournament, quiet losses afterwards. The matches end, the cameras leave, the tourists fly home, the trophy is lifted, the champions celebrate, but the loans, the maintenance, and the empty stadiums can remain for years, sometimes for decades. Every 4 years, countries compete for the privilege of paying that bill. And maybe that's the biggest mystery of all. The World Cup isn't really selling football, it's selling attention. And for some governments, attention is worth more than profit. Whether that's a good deal depends on who you ask. The fans get unforgettable memories, the players chase history, the champions lift the trophy. FIFA collects billions, and the host country hopes the investment was worth it, because once the final whistle blows, the tournament moves on. The bill doesn't, and that's something nobody explained about money.